In this video, we're going to do a query on a database to do some input validation. We're going to add a new customer to the database. I've created a form for a new customer. It's pretty straightforward. We've got 3 text boxes and an add button. I'm going to show the form when the user clicks on the menu. And the problem asks for more things, validation of a unique phone number and the ID being auto-generated and being larger than the largest one there. But we're going to keep things real simple and just get something working first and then add. So I'm going to try to find something where something is being saved. There already is a new appointment form, so I'm going to copy that code and base my new customer code off of it. So when they click the add button on the new customer form, there is no date involved, so we don't have to worry about that. Alright, this is where we're getting our other fields. We're going to have a customer ID. We're going to have a customer name. That's going to be a string. And we're going to have a customer phone. And that's a number, but we don't do calculations on anything like that, so it's fine to store that as a string. On the other form, they got it from a combo box, unless we're just getting it from a text box for now. Again, we're just keeping things simple, getting something working, and then adding on. Customer name we're getting from the text box, and customer phone we're getting from a text box. We could have just passed the text property of the text boxes to our insert method, but we're going to have to do other things with them down the road anyway, so this is time well spent. So we know we're going to need an insert method, and we're going to know we need to pass the 3 fields that are in the table to the insert method. And this one is just closing the form if it worked and updating as label if it did not work. We could add the label to our form, but just to make things quick, I will do a message box to output that error. Now we still have a squiggly for M appointments. This was to work with the appointments class. Let's take a look at what was done in the appointments class for the insert. And you see it's taking a bunch of arguments and calling the insert on the adapter. So let's copy that, and we'll use this as the basis for our insert within customers. Going to take care of one squiggly at a time. Last error, we'll copy that line from appointments. It's just a string message. Put it up here, the same place it was in appointments. Takes care of that squiggly. Next squiggly is these parameter or the arguments that we're sending, so we better get our parameters straightened out. Customer ID, name, and phone. Now we can call these anything we want to. They're just parameter variable names. You just have to make sure the number and the type match up. And then we'll use these names within our method. It's still going to be a Boolean. It's going to insert a new row into the customer table. Return true if successful, and hold an error if not. Alright, we just need to pass the right arguments to the adapter. Alright, no more squigglies, looking good. Save it, see if it runs. Oh, not quite yet. One more thing we have to change. In our new customer form, we were still trying to call the insert method on appointments. Obviously, we need to call it on customers. I'm getting a squiggly on customers because I haven't created an instance of that class on this form yet. So I'll again refer to my new appointment form, and I'll just copy this line. No sense in typing when you could copy and paste. Try again. It runs. See if view customers works. It does. Let's make sure our new customer form comes up. It does. Let's try to add a customer. Again, no error checking, no validation of any kind yet. Let's just see if something works, and it does. It's beautiful. Just by trying to understand what was going on with the new appointment and relating it to a new customer. Now we need to think about some of the other requirements. They wanted to make sure that the customer name wasn't blank. I feel pretty confident that you know how to do that. We also need to make sure that the phone number isn't empty. So you're just going to nest these if statements. But one that is a little bit tricky is if the phone number is unique. We don't want to do an insert unless that phone number is not already in there. We only want to do the insert if the phone number is unique. So we know we need an if statement. What are we going to work on? Well, we're going to work on something from the customer's table. We have to look at that. And we're going to have to create our own method. Let's create a method, phone is unique, or whatever we want to call it. And what information is it going to need? It's going to need the customer phone. And only if the customer's phone number is unique do we want to do the insert. So that logic is in place. Now we just have to implement this method within our class. So let's go to our customers class and create a new function. We've got an existing function, so we can base the structure off of that. Public function. This is the name that we gave it in our other form. Phone is unique. The parameter variable, we're going to get that by val. Phone, and this whole thing is going to be a boolean, and again it's going to be true or false if the phone number is unique or it's not. And it works well with the if statement. Get a squiggly because of our option strict, so we'll make sure it knows that phone is a string. The green squiggly we don't need to worry about. We're just saying we need to return something at some point. So how are we going to figure out if the phone number is unique or not? We're going to have to use an if statement of some type, and we're going to have to do something with the adapter. So yeah, here's where we're getting a table based on no restrictions, just getting all the data from the table. That's kind of what we want to do. This is just one option. We can try to get the data from the table or from the adapter by the phone number. Alright, so we're going to do a special query on the adapter, not just the get data. And if the table comes back with one row or more, we know that that phone number will have been found once we make the query. I want you to visualize this. We're going to create a table. We're going to create a data table from our adapter where we're going to pass the phone in and only get the data where the rows match that phone number. And then if that table exists, obviously that phone number was in there. So the way we're going to add this query is through the XSD file. We're going to right click and we're going to create a new query. This query which a select statement which returns rows. That's exactly what we want. And we want to select customer ID, name, and phone from customers where the phone number is equal to the @ symbol is what you use for a variable. And it can be whatever name you want. It just means we're going to pass in a variable. This is just because I'm on a new version of Visual Studio and database was created with an old version. So it just says upgrade the database file. So I'll go ahead and do that. My data connections, I'm going to modify the connection, and just by clicking OK it'll update it. We should be good to go. Now back in the XSD, I should see my variable inside the parentheses here, just like an argument and a parameter. So let me make sure that that's all in place. And it's still not there. I hit cancel. But maybe if I want to change the name too. It didn't save my new name. Get data by. I want to do get data by phone. My argument thing still isn't there. Parameter variable. Oh, double clicking is no good to me. Let's go back to configure, and it's there, so it should appear. Let me try clicking finish this time instead of cancel, and now it's there. All right, get data by phone, at phone. I'm saving. I'm running. Making sure I can still add a new customer. Keep my data input very simple. View it. It's there. Close. Try to add. All my data is still there. This time, the form is not closing. That means it didn't add it. Right, before that would have gone through because there was no checking for duplicates. Now it's not.